I'm Roy Potter, a former U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel. Welcome to the Potter Expositor. Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's still the 26th of February 2019. I'm Roy Potter. Welcome to this episode of the Potter Expositor. And it's kind of an impromptu, not a live stream, however. You know, I've been very critical of Donald Trump's situation of failing to act, in my view, on protecting us from the encroachments upon our rights, principally, as I've enumerated, the First, Second, and Fourth Amendments. And yet, we do have an advocate that is very close to Trump. And for a long time, nobody in the White House I know of directly, but Donald Trump Jr. I've had a lot of respect for, a tremendous amount of respect. Eric as well, but Donald is even more in the forefront, Donald Jr. And I wanted to address this tonight and give you a clip from Tucker Carlson, because he really is, Don Jr., our advocate on at least the First and Second Amendments, and I think by intimation the Fourth as well. And I've seen his tweets often, of course, and his comments in the news media, and when I saw this on Tucker Carlson tonight, I just had to put it up for you to look at. So I'm very proud of Donald Trump Jr. He would make an outstanding president, and of course that's why they're trying to ruin Donald Trump, the president, as well as the rest of his family, because Donald Trump Jr. would be an excellent president of the United States, in my view. So tonight I want to show you this, where he defends our First Amendment, and I am sure, being so close to the problem and realizing it, and at the same time, of course, being the son of the president, that he is a conduit, an advocate for us to get this problem to the White House, to the Oval Office, and hopefully get it resolved. So without further ado, let me show you this clip. And if you have the time, email, tweet, whatever, Donald Trump Jr., and thank him for being there for us. Here we go.
Donald Trump Jr. joins us live tonight. Don, thanks very much for coming on. Do you think, you talk to a lot of Republicans in Washington, do you think they understand the threat of woke capitalism, the alliance between the activist left and big business that is shutting down speech?
You know, I think they're starting to get it. I think they're starting to see it. I mean, that's why I've tried to utilize my platform. I did an op-ed in Real Clear Politics the other day, because I see it from so many real Americans, just guys that are Second Amendment accounts, people that follow me, like my politics, whatever it is, and they're reaching out to me when I made a big deal of this, saying, wow, it's happening to me too, but I have a platform to actually do something about it. There are guys, Kevin McCarthy's been pretty vocal about it, but the reality is that nothing has changed. I put up an Instagram post 2 weeks ago about the Smollett thing because, I had the gall to be a little bit cynical about the entire ridiculous situation that was laid out, and Instagram just deleted it. I sort of responded in my normal fashion, rather aggressively, saying, what's wrong with this? Here's the problem, yada, yada. And I got inundated, Tucker. Hundreds of people sending me DMs. Don, my account was shut down because I tried liking one of your tweets, or I tried liking one of your father's Instagram posts that was like him and his grandchildren. Nothing even controversial. And time again, I've had to follow you, Don, 3 times in the last week because they keep unfollowing you. It's really sad, and it's happening. And the excuse that, well, it's spam-like behavior. No, spam-like behavior is not making Instagram unfollow people who want to follow my content and other conservatives.
So free speech doesn't mean anything if people can't hear you speak. And this alliance between the activist left and big corporations is preventing people from being heard. So it is, in effect, an attack on free speech. The media
100%.
benefits from our freedom of speech. They are the prime beneficiaries of the First Amendment, and yet they don't even cover it. And places like CNN actually encourage companies to deplatform voices they don't think should be heard. Why is the press standing by as the First Amendment erodes?
Well, because, again, I think the majority of the press are now left-wing activists. They are on the side of that. They are not on the side that is being stymied. They're not on the side that is being oppressed. Guys like me, again, I can do this because I have a big platform. I have a big soapbox. I can get it out there. But some of the little guys, they can't. They don't have that ability. They just end up taking it. And that's what's happened. You've never seen someone on the left say, it's weird, Don. All of a sudden, I'm following Fox News. I was never following that. Like many conservatives are complaining to me and saying that all of a sudden they're following these crazy left-wing accounts that they never signed up for. This is happening. It's a one-way, systematic attack on free speech. And to me, it reads like it's a trial run for 2020. How are we going to do it? I'm not saying that every account is suppressed, but you do it enough. You take off X% of the top. You cut the message in half. You get rid of some of the viral nature of what my father, frankly, did very well in 2016. He played monkey in the middle with the media and what they tried to do with messaging. He went right to his people. He went right to the people with his message. He didn't allow them to manipulate it. He went right over them. I think, to me, it reads as though they're trying to figure out how to minimize that ability again and let the media, which again, 93, 94% left-wing activists at this point, and let them drive that narrative. Make sure that that is the only thing that regular, hard-working Americans see. And we got to call it out. We have to hit it aggressively.
I mean, I'm a little surprised that the Republican Congress has sat back. Well, for the 2 years they controlled the House, they still control the Senate, and let this happen. Is there a reason to have Mitch McConnell as Senate Majority Leader? Like, what is the point of having a Republican Senate if they can't stand up for free speech, especially when their own voters are being targeted?
Well, listen, I hope that this creates the platform for them to sort of jump on board to get it. Like I said, if it's me and I'm seeing literally hundreds of people, those are just the people who actually saw that post and are willing to take the time to reach out and send screenshots. Imagine how many other people it's actually happening to. Imagine how many don't even realize that it's happening. So, I think the Republicans, a lot of these companies are getting a lot of benefits from the government, from the internet, from all these things. It doesn't seem like it'd be fair to have a one-sided platform, and you saw it. I mean, you covered it in the opening segment, what's going on with PayPal. I mean, they're not even hiding it anymore. They're not even pretending anymore. It's just become the norm. If Donald Trump has shown conservatives one thing, it's that you don't just have to take the loss when the other side wants you to. You can actually fight back. You can fight back and win. I think we have to take, that message to heart. I think we have to start pushing back, and I think we have to start pushing back hard. If we don't, we'll never get the chance again, Tucker.
And there's still Republicans, elected Republicans, who will tell you, it's just the free market at work. No, it's not. It's fascism. And if you don't
100%
fight it,
fascism. That's not the free market, especially.
No, it's not the free market. It's ridiculous. So Michael Cohen set to testify before the House Oversight Committee tomorrow. You haven't heard his testimony. Obviously, you've read stories about what he may say or not. What's your take on it from what you know?
Honestly, my take is, I have my father. I know he's in Vietnam right now trying to negotiate nuclear peace settlement with North Korea after 60 years of failed attempts trying to end the war, trying to end nuclear proliferation on the Korean Peninsula. You have finally a president who's willing to do it. Finally, a guy who's actually got a meeting with the other side. And for the Democrats to try to counter-program that kind of progress, to try to perhaps somehow distract him with this nonsense by, a convicted felon who's been lying to those same committees, it just goes to show you how much those Democrats really disdain Trump, but also America. I mean, who wants to try to stymie that process? Who doesn't want peace in the Korean Peninsula? Who doesn't want to end nuclear proliferation in a dictatorial state? I mean, who doesn't want that, Tucker? It's crazy, but they show you that they really hate Trump much more than they like America, because I get nothing from counter-programming those kind of peace talks with this nonsense that's been proven with a convicted felon, other than they just want Trump to fail, even if it means America fails. And that's a really sad state of affairs, Tucker.
Donald Trump Jr., thanks very much for that.
Thank you.